Hey, hey. All right. This first record right here was supposed to be in the last video, but it got cut off. This is factory new sealed record, and it's a pretty recent release. The final offering by David Berman, who passed away not too long ago, who was founder of the Silver Jews, and this was his latest thing, Purple Mountains. All right. The rest of these are used records that I just got in, and there's some real choice stuff here. Some stuff I think you'll want to get your hands on right away. Of course, it'll be first come, first serve through messaging on the YouTube channel or comment section for this video, but really you probably want to do it through the Works Facebook page. And probably best is sending direct messages through there, but whatever gets a message to me, I will respond and will arrange payment and pickup or delivery, or if you're out of the area, shipping it to you. All right, anyway, this is the Smiths, The Queen is Dead, a fairly recent reissue of it, but it's in excellent shape here. Very good plus condition. Got it for $17.99. This is kind of a cool collection here, double LP collection of music from 1974 to 1988. It's called the Summer Records Anthology, which means it's stuff that was released on probably a little independent imprint label. And I remember when this came out on Light in the Attic, goes back to 2007. I dug on it. It's good. Kind of lesser known reggae stuff. So if you love reggae, like Underground, this something you might want to pick up. That's $24.99. I think it's been out of print for a little while. Here's a nice copy of Chapter 1, The Upsetters, with Lee Scratch Perry, Scratch and Company. Got it for $12. Here's a classic King Tubby, The Roots of Dub, $12 on that, in real good shape. This is an earlier album by Tyler the Creator called Goblin, and this is in excellent condition. It's a double LP, and it's $17.99. Here's Shoots Too Narrow by the Shins. If you know the Shins, you know this album. This is probably like their third record or something, and that's $15. The Pixies, Trompe le Monde. This is their final original album. They've made a couple since reforming in recent years without Kim Deal. And if you love them without Kim Deal, that's perfectly fine, but I don't really think of the Pixies without Kim Deal. And to me, this album here, Trompe le Monde, is just a masterpiece. That's $15. Here's a record that's not super easy to come by. I mean, you can. It's on Discogs, it's on eBay, on Amazon, I'm sure. But it's not super cheap because I believe it's out of print. 2006 Drag City by Joanna Newsom. This is her, I'm going to say, third record. I think she had a couple before this. This is called Wise, the alphabet letter Y. And YS. So I assume it's called Wise. And it's excellent. This is a wonderful record. I remember when it came out, and I thought it was enchanting. She's a one-of-a-kind, unique singer-songwriter. So this is $25. This right here, a band that took me a long time to appreciate. I didn't quite understand them in the 90s. This is, I think, their second record called Cure for Pain, and I think it's possibly their best. I also like their other records too, like Swimming. Good is probably my least favorite, but then there's Yes. And probably my next favorite after Cure for Pain would be the one called The Night, which came out after Mark Sandman passed away. basically had a heart attack on stage. But there's really no other band like Morphine. The tonal combination of the saxophone and slide bass work that he does, along with the perfect drumming for their sound and style, and then of course, what really ultimately captivates you is his vocals and lyrics. And I think this is just a brilliant record. Here's oh, and by the way, that one's $18. It's in near mint condition. The Commodore's in the pocket. All I know about this one is it's got Lady, and that's $5. This is something very near and dear to my heart. The soundtrack to Popeye. The songs were written by Harry Nilsson, one of my favorite artists of all time. Singer-songwriters. Harry Nilsson was a different kind of bird. He was kind of a weirdo. He loved the Beatles. He loved McCartney. He loved Lennon. He was a rock and roller, but also a singer-songwriter. He was also kind of an orchestral, musical dreamer in his way. But this movie would not be the same without his music. And, of course, the material's performed by the actors, but the songs were written by him, and that's $9. And it's wonderful. I think you got to have it. Talking Heads, Fear of Music. Not going to say much about this. It's in pretty good shape for $8. The Book of Taliesin by Deep Purple. This is early Purple. So this is the Deep Purple before Ian Gillan. The lead singer's name here is Rod something. It's not coming to me at the moment. But this is what you would consider Mark 1 by Deep Purple. So that might be up your alley. This is a $4 12-inch single of the Wild Boys. So it's got extended mix of the Wild Boys, and then I guess the single version of it, and then a B-side called I'm Looking for Cracks in the Pavement. Duran Duran at their peak. Gotta love it. Early Elvis Costello and the Attractions for $10. Armed Forces. This is his second record, I think. Could be wrong, but I feel like it's his second. For $6, we got Carole King Fantasy. It's not as iconic as Tapestry, but same time frame, same Carole King doing what she did. Here's a nifty little collection of jazz on the Riverside label. It's only $5, and it's just top-notch artists. Right off the bat, Thelonious Monk, Cannonball Adderley, Wes Montgomery, Bill Evans, Nat Adderley, and then some other cats that were great. Blue Mitchell, Jimmy Heath. So this is a nice collection of boppin' jazz music. $4 on this copy of U2 War. It's not a high-end copy, but it's in good playable shape. I love that record. This I have for $20. I probably go down to 15. It's a new reissue of Kansas Greatest Hits. Not something for everybody, but Kansas is a band. If you really dig into them and listen to them, they were wonderful. They just are one of those groups that, the first two tracks on here, Carry On Wayward Son and Dust in the Wind, that kind of overshadowed everything else by Kansas. But if you like good 70s rock, these guys were great. And this is a near mint reissue right here. $17.99 for Easy Does It. Come on. It's in excellent shape. It's not an original copy. That would go for a lot of money. This is a reissue from probably the last 10, 12 years. Something like that. It's in excellent shape. Double LP. You're going to want that. This is KRS-One in the 90s. Mid-90s, I would say. And he was still pretty darn good. It's not It's not the blueprint of hip hop. It's not edutainment. It's not Boogie Down Production stuff like Criminal Minded or, um, um, well, Blueprint was a Boogie Down Productions album. But it was good stuff. KRS-One, I Got Next, $15. Radiohead, The Bends, the second record by Radiohead, $15 on this copy. I don't know when this particular issue was. The album's originally from '94, and this I don't think this is an original copy. Got it for $15 there. Combat Rock by the Clash. Towards the end of the Clash's career, this record rules. You know, it's not London Calling. It's not the first Clash album. It's not Sandinista. It's a bit more polished new wave pop, but it's still the Clash, and it's still got a lot of their feeling. And I actually think it's a very fun, enjoyable record. All right, this is a reissue of Undertow. This is probably where Tool really broke out, but they were still a little bit of an underground band. You know, Anima was probably their big, massive commercial breakthrough at the time, but Undertow has some of their most loved stuff by their hardcore fans, and of course, this record became huge because Tool became huge. This is $20 for a near mint copy. Fleet Foxes, I believe their debut on Sub Pop